Ste preživjeli MV8? Jedva. Jel boli stomak od smijenja? Da. Što ste nešto tihi, što mi je nešto čudno da vas ovako čujemo ovaj tiho? Evo možemo mi to malo glasnije. Dakle, nevjerovatno nam je veliko zadovoljstvo da vam predstavimo našeg prvog gosta u nizu ljudi koji će se družiti sa vama u naredna 3 dana. Pošto je to također prvi put da imamo tako veliku zvezdu, tako krupnog kalibra ovdje u Srbiji. U pitanju je momak za koga se stvarno može reći da je fin kao iz Finske. Jedan od definitivno najpoznatijih muških cosplayera u svijetu. Ako malo proguglate, vidjet ćete da se na svim svjetskim top listama nalazi negde od 1. do 5. mesta. I koji je ovoga puta ekskluzivno gost Beograda na Japanizmu. Dame i gospodo, Elffi. Bravo!
Da. No idea but something about Elffi she was saying, so moro mitä kuuluu. That's how we say in Finland when we say how do you do, so how do you do? Okay? Just thinking that I came to Serbia last night and this morning I woke up and it was really hot. The sun was shining through the window. It's like, oh God. So I have decided that we all will stay in this room because it's the most coldest room in this whole convention. So we can stay here like until the evening, right? Good. So anyway, I'm pleased to see that there's so many people here coming to my lecture. And still coming? Oh, that's nice. Yeah. And then we are going to talk about the manly way of cosplay and other kind of stuff. And don't take it too seriously. There are many stereotypes and stuff in this lecture. Let's keep it really fun, and also I want to keep this really like socialized. So I want you to speak also, and if you don't speak, I'll come to you and make you speak. So do you all understand English? Good, that's awesome. That's really awesome. Like the one thing I really love in the eastern part of the Europe is that you guys always speak really good English. Like compared to the France and Germany and Italy and Spain, they have no idea how to speak English. And then you come here like Serbia, and I've been in Romania 2 times, and everyone is freaking good in English. And that's awesome. So props to you. Copy. So, first of all, if you have any questions, you have to raise your hand or scream a bit like or something like that, and then someone will bring you the microphone and you can ask the question. You can ask it in English or what's called Serbian, or Finnish or Swedish or Danish or Japanese, anything you want, alright? So my name is Elffi, and I've been cosplaying since 2006, so it's soon my 10th anniversary. I have made around 40 costumes now, and I've been a guest and judge and a panelist in around 22 countries. This is old stuff. So 22 countries in 50 conventions in 4 continents. And I was part of the World Cosplay Summit, Team Finland, 2011. And 2012 and 2013 I was in Japan in the finals as a judge and the organizer of Finland. I'm studying Japanology, that's why I said that you can ask me questions in Japanese also. And I'm studying also international business, but like I have been studying for 6.5 years, no, 7 years, but I have never graduated from anywhere. Because I just do cosplay and then I don't remember to go to the lectures. The first manly thing of cosplay among men is that many of the characters in video games and anime and stuff, they tend to have some pretty good bodies, and they have abs and chest, and by biceps and triceps and everything possible. And it's sometimes really hard when you see a really character from Tekken or Mortal Kombat, all the stuff you have been playing as a kid, and then you want to make a costume and they have all the muscles. And it's like, like 4 years ago, I wanted to cosplay as Czech. And I was 68 kilos. I'm 187 centimeters, so I was really skinny. And I made a Czech. Well, at first it was not so good because I was really skinny and I didn't like the outcome. And I started to go to gym for a bit over 1 year. Just eating all the pizza and all the salami and beer, and then go to the gym like 3 to 4 times per week. And I raised my weight to 85 kilos. And then I made like the remake of Czech, and this is the result here in the left side. So that's one thing, is that many boys, at least the cosplayers I know, that we want to go to the gym and get a bit better body to cosplay, and it's not the wrong thing to do. Of course there are other characters, they are not all muscles only, but still, if you want, it's also very healthy, and that's why cosplay is a really good hobby. Then we have some statistics. My friend made a thesis about cosplay in Finland, and there was 1,100 cosplayers answering the questionnaire, and that's almost all the cosplayers we have in Finland actually. And among all of them who answered, the biggest age group was 19 to 22 years old, which was 37.5%. And now I would like to ask you a question, so you have to speak. What do you think in Serbia? Is the age lower than more than this?
Lower.
Lower? What would you say an average cosplayer age is?
69.
69? Okay. Maybe we take it like someone raises his hand and then answers, so. Yeah. Alright? 16 to 19. Okay, yeah. I think we had the same in 2007, 2008, when I was just starting cosplay. Like, I was also around 18 years, 19 years old, and then everyone was my age. And now, after the cosplay scene grows and matures a bit, now we have a bit older people, like I'm old and stuff. I'm 37. No. It doesn't say my age here. Okay, sorry. I'm 27. And now we get to the Finnish language lecture. What is this? Raise hand. There?
I think nainen means females, and mies is man.
Oh wow, that's really good pronunciation. It's nainen and mies. Nainen, mies. Mies is the man and nainen is the female. And in Finland, it's 12.53% of male cosplayers. And in Serbia? Around the same?
We wish.
Alright. One country where there is a lot of male cosplayers is Italy. This is Leo Kiro, my friend from Italy. And Italy is a bit like a stranger among the European countries, because among the cosplayers there are really a lot of like models and fitness instructors and stuff like that in the cosplay scene. And there's also like 30% of male cosplayers, at least even more. And like Leo Kiro also is the underwear model of Calvin Klein. So now you know what to put in the Google. Underwear model Calvin Klein, Leo Kiro. And this was his dandy costume. Do you have any questions, by the way? there's a question there.
Nick, please.
What was your first cosplay?
First cosplay. It was Kurosaki Ichiko from Bleach. That was the time when I still had hair. And after that, nowadays, when people ask me that, why do I like cosplay? Why do I do cosplay? And I always say that it's just so awesome to feel the breeze of the wind in your hair. Because that's the only time I can have my hair using the wigs during cosplay. Not today, but like tomorrow again.
Any more questions? Okay. From all costumes you wear, what's your favorite?
I don't like any of my costumes. But I also love all of my costumes. So it's like a love-hate relationship. So I cannot say, like, I cannot raise anything like above the others. But they all have their pros and cons. So I'm still waiting for the day when I have the absolute favorite costume, because that's the question everyone is asking me in every convention always.
Any more? Okay.
In all of your years of cosplay, what's the best costume you have ever seen on someone else?
Best costume? That's a really hard question. Because I think I have seen over 300,000 costumes. I cannot decide anything like the best above the others. But one really good one was Team Mortal Kombat in Chile in the Latin American finals last December. It was the combined the skit and the costumes. They were so absolutely perfect that I was amazed. It was even better than the finals in World Cosplay Summit. So that's one of my favorites. Actually, we don't have internet here, so I cannot show you any photos like if something pops up in my mind, but anyway. So, what are the boys? We are big props and armors. Like, I have always loved to build something with my hands. Not exactly the sewing part, but you know, the wood crafting, metal crafting and stuff like that. And all of my family, they are all like left-handed musicians and artisans, sculptors, painters. So it was pretty normal for me to start doing cosplay, and my family was really supporting on that. And I have never had any problems with doing cosplay. I heard that in Serbia, some people have some problems with the family and stuff when they do cosplay. Yeah. And Kalsara was also thinking about, she's having the lecture of this kind of topic, was it tomorrow? Yeah. This is my costume I made for the World Cosplay Summit preliminaries in Finland in 2011. It's Fast Stampede from Trigun. And the prop, I have never seen a bigger prop in my life in any convention. It's 4.5 meters long. And I had a C Mercedes. I had to split this weapon in two parts, and it was still from the trunk to the windshield, both of the parts. And actually it only weighs around 4 kilos, because I made it hollow and out of yoga mats. And then I covered it with fake leather and then painted with the paintbrush. The funny thing is that you can see the light in the middle. It's actually the headlight of the car, the front light. I want to have a really bright light, so you can see there's like 3 flashes in this photo, and still you can see the brightness of the light. And the only problem was that when you put the light on, it takes like 5 seconds and the whole middle part starts to burn and smoke because the light gets so freaking hot. So I can only use it for a bit and then I have to put it off because it starts melting. Any questions?
What costume would you like to do and you haven't done before?
I would like to do. The thing is that I usually do all the costumes.
No, you haven't done before, but you would really want to do.
I don't have anything like that. It's like I always choose the costume I want to do and then I do it. But it would be nice to cosplay a female someday, but I don't know. I tried it out once when I was really drunk, but those photos are not from children. Okay, then comes the next question. Here's a costume, and I would like to ask you, how is it made? Come on. How is it made? What is it made of?
I'm just gonna drop it. More blood.
Plexiglass.
Cardboard?
Magic.
Magic, there comes the action.
Science.
Science, that's also a good answer. No. It's made with 3D printer, out of plastic. And this is the future of cosplay, and somehow only the boys are doing this stuff. Like, you have like all the skills with the computer, then you buy this really expensive. This is an American cosplayer. I think the 3D printer to print out like the shapes of shoulder pads and stuff, like really big stuff. You need like $100,000 to buy the printer.
There's only one in Serbia.
One in Serbia also? Really? Okay. But it's pretty cool. Like, of course, the thing is that when it comes out of the printer, it's really rough. So you have to sand it and then paint it still. But still, if you have the skills, you can just make a costume and then click print and go to sleep, and that morning, oh, it's ready. Here you can see the name if you want to Google any of the stuff. You have questions?
I wanted to ask, how do you transport them huge weapons? I mean, how do you transport them without getting them broken or something like that?
As I said, I used my Mercedes, so I can only use it inside Finland, so I cannot take it abroad.
Okay. That's it.
But I think it lasted like 1 year, and then I put it on my balcony. It was there the whole winter, and then at springtime I went to see it, and it was a whole rotten piece of stuff, and then I just dumped it into garbage. Okay, and boys, what is makeup? No idea. Still nowadays, it's like I'm using how few of the male cosplayers actually use any makeup, and that's one of the things I would like to improve among the cosplay scene in every country, that boys would also have the strength to use makeup and the courage. So I'm going to go through some really basics which I have applied on myself, and I have made some stuff out of the makeup stuff, and I think it's pretty okay. So I hope this helps some of the boys, and girls, you can laugh, because it's not maybe the right way to use this stuff. First of all, it's nice if you remember to use the contact lenses. I have the problem that they hurt my eyes like hell because I don't use lenses in real life. But it's a little thing, little detail, that if you used it, your costume will look better. And one thing is that I think in Serbia also you have slightly light skin, right? Like Scandinavia, as I am, like my skin is extremely like white and pinkish. So the thing I use mostly is that I put a bit of self-tanning lotion. It's not expensive. You buy one bottle, or you ask your mom to buy one bottle because it's embarrassing. And then you just put the lotion everywhere after shower, and then you go to sleep and wake up in the morning, and it looks like you have been bathing in the sun for like a whole day. And what it does is when you have a white skin with the irritation and pink parts and stuff, especially when you shave, I get really red skin irritation. So I have been using the self-tanning lotion, and it evens out my skin tone a lot, and it makes me look much better in photos and stuff. This is especially good if you have a upper body naked costume. It also, when you have a bit more brown skin, your muscles and stuff, they look a bit better. Do we have questions? Like, yeah? There's a question there.
What do you do with the cosplays after you're done with them?
After I'm done, then I use them in the convention.
Put them in your closet, or...
Can you please a bit more with the microphone?
What do you do after the conventions with the costumes? Do you put them in your closet and forget about them, or what do you do with them?
The problem, here comes also one problem which is different between the female cosplayers and male cosplayers. I have been trying to sell my costumes online, but the thing is that no one wants to buy them because I'm so big, and then I don't know, my shape is weird, so they don't fit to anyone, and which is kind of sad. So I'm giving them out for free in the conventions. Like I was in Colombia 2 weeks ago, and I gave my Masrur the golden armor costume. After the convention I decided this was the last time, so I gave out the whole costume and the short and the parts to some random people.
Very nice.
Oh my god.
Hello? What was your hardest cosplay to pull off?
Hardest costume? I think it was Faster Stampede, because there was so much stuff to do with the big weapon and everything. And it took me like 1 week to make the costume. I always do my costumes in raw. Like when I start a costume, I don't eat. I only drink coffee and beer, and then I make it until it's done. Like I don't sleep much. I make it like 20 hours a day for like 5 days, 6 days, and then it's ready.
How do you fare with cosplay dramas?
Dramas, cosplay drama, drama lama. I'm not really interested in the drama thing, and it's also that among the male cosplayers we tend to be like good buddies with every boy, so we don't have so much drama compared to the cosplay girl scene. At least that's what I think, but it's also that I'm not really interested in talking bad stuff and making out drama. So, yeah.
What's the longest costume you make in time?
Longest? I think it's the Faster Stampede also, maybe. Yeah.
In how much time did you make?
1 week. I just remember when I made the big weapon, I was like 2 days, 3 days just painting it, and then I woke up in the morning and it was ready. But here is more question, yeah. Oh well.
In your younger days, cosplay, did you ever have the anxiety that your costume is not good enough, or that your portrayal character is not good enough?
Yeah, of course. I think every cosplayer has that stuff, that you start making something and you're like really, really passionate, and you're like, is this going to be so cool? And then you make the first person and it's like, oh, it looks so bad, and then you cry, and then you start making it again until it's good enough to use. So yeah, I always have the same stuff. I think it's pretty normal.
Have you ever cosplayed a black person?
No. So, let's get to the makeup business. First of all, you have to buy the makeup. I think that's the hardest part, actually. Like, last summer, I was at my hometown, Jyväskylä, in Finland, and I had to buy new makeup. And I was like, I usually have like a tank top and a black leather jacket. I'm bald, I have my beard and big sunglasses, and like really ripped off jeans or something, and then I'm like, yeah, I can do this time alone. I don't need my girlfriend, I don't need my mom. I can go to the supermarket or the makeup section and buy all the makeup. And then I went to the shop like, yes, there's almost no one here. Okay. I went and took some of the pencil stuff like this, and the mascara and some powder and stuff, and I was like, yeah, good, I'm almost out of here. And then I went to the cashier. And there was this old lady, like 60 years old. I was like, okay, just pay the stuff and then get the hell out of here. And I went there and I was like, okay, this stuff please. And the old lady just looked at me like, and she said, oh boy, you are going to be so pretty. And then I was like, whoosh, great. I was like, that's it. I'm never doing this alone anymore. Oh. But yeah, you can just take your girlfriend with you or your the battery might be out, I don't know. But you can use your girlfriend or your mom or some girlfriend and take them to the store, and it just looks like that you are like just being with them and looking really bored. But actually when no one looks, your girlfriend or mom has to use the makeup on you a bit and check the color and everything, and she knows how to buy the foundation, the powder, and then you need the black pencil for the eye stuff. And that's a good combo, this 3-piece. So where was I? You have these 3 pieces, and your girlfriend or mom can pay the stuff, and you get out of there safely. And then you can go to home and lock in the toilet and just try out all the stuff. And what I also buy is black mascara, because I love mascara. So, here is my Mihawk costume from One Piece, the face part of it. And here I had used first I used this, what is it called, the foundation, yeah. Foundation with a little sponge, and you just go like, and then it's really even, you look like, okay, it looks like, okay. And then you put on the powder, also like, push, 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 push. And that's it, you don't need any signs on that. Then, what I do is I make my eye makeup. I have really light eyes, I have no color in the slashes or anything. So I use the black pencil thing. I put the black pencil like this. In both eyes. And it looks absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. So what I do, I call this rub and go eyes. It's the Jack Sparrow style. You take your arms, you take your fingers, and just rub your eyes, and it looks like this. That's pretty. What I use every day. Like this morning also, I did that stuff. And then comes the part that my beard is this color. Yes, this is a picture of me. Yeah, it's this color. It's blonde. So what I do, I use the best weapon among the manly cosplay makeup, the mascara. When you use the mascara on your beard, it makes your beard longer and darker and thicker, just like in the advertisement of mascara. So when you have problems, that I know every boy has this thing that the beard doesn't grow in this part, or this part it doesn't grow, and here it's a bit more like thinner and blah blah blah. But when you use the mascara, it evens out all the stuff and your beard looks absolutely fantastic. That's how I made this beard also. And this is also my real beard, yeah. Any questions in this part?
How do you wash it off when you're done?
Well, the mascara is good because you can cry in the convention, and it can rain, and it doesn't go off. But you just use soap and it comes off pretty nicely. Depends on if you use the waterproof one or the normal one.
Excuse me? Hello?
There, hey.
Yeah. Which form of ichigo did you do and how long did it take to make it?
I made the normal ichigo, the execution crown ichigo, the hollow ichigo, and then the last one with the bankai, the black hair.
Okay. Because I saw one on your Facebook, the Vasto Lorde ichigo, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how long did you make that one?
Oh, well, there's not much of stuff because you just paint your body white and then you have a bit of pink fur in your hands and then the skull. So it took me 3 days, I think.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, this apparently doesn't work. I have a question. Which brand of mascara do you use?
Maybelline.
Yeah.
Maybe it's you, but maybe it's Maybelline.
Maybelline. Okay.
More questions? Okay.
There's something in the middle again. Yeah.
Pass it on, please.
Have you ever made something with a mechanical component, like retractable wings or something like that?
Wings? No, I've never made any wings, no.
Nothing mechanical, like a hydraulic arm or something like that?
No.
Did you ever want to make it?
Maybe. But the wings, I have this story of this one cosplay pair when they were going to the stage and they had these big wings, black wings, and they didn't stay on the back. So they used hot glue gun before going to the stage and used a lot of hot glues as to glue the wings on the back. And she still got all the like a football size of a burnt wound in her back and it never goes away. Okay, maybe we go on. Do you know who is this guy? Yeah, it's Joker. Good. This guy is one of the most famous Joker cosplayers in the world, Anthony Misiano. I think he got 100-something thousand likes on Facebook and stuff. And he's the guy I admire on the makeup. As you can see, that's pretty some high-level makeup. So if you want to see something cool, you can Google him out. Yeah, the soothing part. Oh. This was also 10 years ago when I had to sew my first costume. I was I didn't get the sewing machine on, so I just went to eBay and ordered the costume. But yeah, it's pretty easy when you have the courage to ask again from your mom or someone who knows to sew. And one of the most easiest things when you start doing cosplay and you want to start with the sewing part is that you have your own clothes. You have your favorite clothes and then someday they will get old and you cannot use them anymore because they're ruined, they have holes or something. Just take your favorite shirt, which fits you really nicely. You see the seams, you cut them open, and you have all the parts, you have all the patterns already from your own size, and you can just apply them to their costumes. And what male cosplayers, I have seen so many times that they rush too much and they just cut something out of the fabrics and they never make the patterns. But the most important thing is to make the patterns. So use your own clothes, make the patterns, and then apply something, modifications and stuff on them. And tutorials are useful. I get 10 messages every day in Facebook when they're asking hey Elffi, I want to make this costume, can you give me full instructions how to make it? And this is the most basic stuff always. It's how about you Google this Kurosaki Ichigo Shinikami costume and you can see the first link you have tutorials how to make it. And then, yeah, it's like, you can use the Google. And this is me like every evening when I have to sew something.
I want to ask you a question. What part of the sewing process, like making the pattern or actually using the machine or sewing up, you know, buttons and everything, was your favorite and what's your least favorite part?
I like the part when everything is finished. And I hate the rest of the stuff. But actually I like most of making like something out of leather, or fake leather, because it's a bit more thicker, it doesn't stretch so much, so it feels manlier to sew leather than to sew fabric.
I have to say it indeed feels manly. It's kind of for me it's hard fabric to sew, so I think it's really manly, yes. It kind of sticks to needle.
Sticks to the needle, that's a really easy thing to do. Like, you know, I made the jacket of Barnaby Brooks from Tiger and Bunny, and it's full leather and there's like white and red leather. And you know, the leather, especially the fake leather, is really sticky. So it sticks to the needle and you cannot sew anything. You put a bit of the painter's tape on the seam, and then you can just push, sew, and then you take the paint off, the tape off, and it works every time. It also works with all of the stretchy fabric. You use paper, like copy paper, or the painter's tape, and then it goes like whoosh. It's pretty easy.
Yes, after that you have to remove the paper.
Yeah, you have to remove them. It's okay. Okay. Any more questions? Well, should we build
about sewing or something?
Yeah, about anything. Oh yeah, I can tell you about the tattoo. I was supposed to tell you about how to make the tattoo like this. The idea is that you use the painter's tape again. Just tape the arrow lines like this, then use the makeup sponge and water-based makeup and do like poop, 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 poop. Take off the tape and it's really strict and nice line, smooth. So it's much better than using your brush and painting, because you can see the brush, the strokes and everything, and it's never so even. So I used the tape for the tattoos, and as I had the Czech tattoo on my chest, the really big one, I used the plastic tape thing, which is used to cover the books. What is that called in your language? But like when you go to school, you have to cover your books with the transparent plastic thing. Biatch. Yeah, we use biatch. And you just draw the thing in the biatch. And then you got it out, you take the paper off, and then you have the glue thing in there, and then you just glue it on your chest, use the makeup and sponge again. Takes like 3 minutes and you have a perfect tattoo. And then you can use hairspray or anything else to make it like stay on your skin nicely and it doesn't come off. So I heard you don't use Warbler here, right? Yeah. Yeah, okay. Do you still want to see how to make a Warbler chest plate? Okay. I bought this mannequin because my body size is really weird, so I need this one where you have the wheels, so you can adjust the size. There's 9 wheels everywhere, it costs $150. And when you get fatter or you get bigger, you can always adjust all the sizes. It's really convenient. And we start with baking some bread. But this is actually not bread. What is it? Hmm? Yeah, it's Bex, but it's made of clay. Because Masrur from Maggi got these really big boobies. I had to make the boobies out of clay. I put them in the oven. I also made the abs, and then I sent them all and put them over the mannequin, like this. So we have basically like a mold for making a chest plate. And then I needed a crotch protector because he got one because it's an animal. So I used Warbler and some soft foam and make like a sandwich. The same as come with us, like everyone is doing that. And I used some steel wire and stuff, and then it looks like this, an old belt. Then we have 2 sheets of wool together, and we take the big sheet, and then we put it over the mannequin. Well, like it would be on here on the table, and you put the sheet over it. You take the heating gun and do like, and then it starts to melt. It gets really soft like fabric. It melts over the mold. Then you just use your fingers and push everything in the right place. You let it cool down. You use some scissors and cut off the edges, and then it looks like this. Then you just have to sand it, or brine, or use wood glue, and then spray paint. First, I always use, this is the first test drive. I always use to paint them all black with spray paint first. Then I use the citadel or any acrylic colors, and I use a small brush, and I use this technique the same as the used in the Warhammer miniatures. It's called dry brushing and highlighting, and it's pretty easy. You just take a dry paint in your brush, and then you go like, and you do it like 10 times, and then it gets to like this. But it takes like a whole day to paint one of those. Do you have any questions?
Okay, it's fine. It works. If you could put it down to the paper with all the numbers, what would be your cheapest and the expensive one costume or cosplay you ever done?
You mean the most expensive? It's still the Vasta Stampede. It was 1,100 euros.
Wow.
But also in Finland the thing is that everything is expensive. Everything is freaking expensive. So I usually make a costume, it's always 500 euros average. That's why I'm struggling with everything, because of the taxation, the fabrics, they're like 20 meters, 20 euros for 1 meter is like the basic price for cotton, like this. The most normal fabric you can have is 20 euros for 1 meter.
I have a question. What do you think about, when talking about armors, about Kalsara's saber armor, and do you maybe plan to improve your Gilgamesh cosplay by making a full armor Gilgamesh?
Yeah, I was instructing Kalsara to make the armor, so the thing is, like the Kalsara saber also, it's a costume that you can use for like 1 hour, and then you get so exhausted and so hot, and it's so uncomfortable. When you are like traveling all around the world in the hot countries, and where you have to be like on the stage and having lectures and judging, you cannot use such a costume. But it also costs a lot of money, because you need all the materials. So I would like to make some of them, but I don't know when I have money and when I have the time, because I know that I cannot use it in any of the conventions when I go abroad. So I would only make it for a photo shoot someday when I'm rich.
What's your biggest accomplishment?
I don't know. I don't really know. So. Okay, let's make something cheap. The one thing I always use with Wobbler is cardboard. Cardboard is really good. I don't know if you have this cardboard in Serbia. It's the thick industrial cardboard. What? Lepenka! So we use Lepenka. And we have the broomstick here. So we have broomstick, and then we have 2 sides of cardboard, and we use hot glue to put them together. And you can see in every photo there's my feet. Then what I use to make the cardboard really smooth and really hard, I use fake leather. We use the fake leather. First we put on the cardboard, we paint it fully with wood glue. Then we put the fake leather, make it really smooth, put some painter's tape to make it like stay in the place. We let it be overnight, and then at morning it looks really good. It gets really hard because of the wood glue, and it gets really smooth because of the fake leather. Then we cut off the edges, and it's like 1.5 kilos and it's 1.6 meters. And the money I use for this is like $20, $30, 20 euros. Then we just make the holes, and we put some fabric in there, in the handle. And this is Wonderflex. This was a long time ago when there was still such material. And then the round things are actually the ones used in the cartons. You can buy them from the shops or something. And then I just used some silver spray paint and painted the dolphins. I like to say the red things are dolphins by freehand. And that's pretty cheap, pretty lightweight, and pretty easy to make. It takes like 1 day to make this kind of short. You can use it also in other kind of swords and stuff. The fake leather and cardboard combo. I have also made the armors of Amidamaru from Shaman King and Ragnar the Blood Edge, the big weapon, also the same way. Any questions?
Hi. What's the best convention you've ever been to?
Best convention? I like all the conventions because they're so different. Like, it depends if it's a comic convention or anime convention or gaming convention. They all have their pros and cons. Sometimes the bigger convention is better, sometimes the small convention is like still super good even when there's not so many people. But one convention I liked a lot was the Ottawa Comic Con in Canada. It was pretty awesome. They had every schedule, everything arranged, all transportation, food, anything you asked, everything was going like strictly on the same second as it was supposed to go. It was like feeling like a prince and princess. Then I have something good for boys with big heads. Like, my head size is 61, and if you buy a wig head from the shop, it's around 54 to 56 centimeters. And when you cut your wig on that one, it doesn't look the same anymore when you put it on your own head. So I needed to make my own wig head. So I used my friend as a lap rat. And I put this thing, what is this called? The plastic thing.
Straw.
And straws in his mouth because he couldn't breathe. And now we go to the pharmacy and buy plaster of Paris, which is, do you know plaster of Paris? It's the same as you use when you have a broken bone. It's called gypsy in Finnish. Gypsy, yeah, that's the same word. We buy the gypsy rolls and we cut them in 15 centimeter pieces, and we have a bowl of cold water. We dip them in the water just a bit and start putting them on my friend's head. And the plastic foil is there because when the gypsy gets hard, it doesn't come off your hair anymore, so you have to cut yourself bald. So it looks like this. And now you have to suffer for like 5 minutes. You don't see anything, you don't hear anything, you can barely breathe. But it gets hard really quickly. And when it's hard, your friend has to cut you open from the back of your head. And yeah, I would choose the best friend or something like trustworthy.
Were there any injuries?
Injuries? No.
Thank God.
Huh? Dabs?
Death cases. Fatal injuries.
No, I don't think so. No, I haven't heard of them. But this is pretty safe, I would say. It costs like 5 euros. It's really cheap. When it gets hard, you cut it open from the back, and then you use again some of the slices of gypsy and heal again the wound of your wig head, and then it looks like this. And it's a perfect copy of your head. You can use now some wood glue to make it even. Then you can sand it or anything. You can paint it. You can make your eyes and noses and everything to make it pretty. And then you can make your wigs absolutely perfectly without putting them in your own head or having the wrong size of the wig head.
More questions?
When did you start watching anime in the first place?
Anime? 2003. I was watching anime already from TV, like Pokemon and Digimon and Tonarina Totoro and stuff in the beginning of the 90s when it came out in Finland. But I started watching anime in 2003-2004 when I watched the Sento Chihiro Spirit Away by Hayao Miyazaki. And I got hooked to the atmosphere and the language, and then I started watching stuff like Fullmetal Alchemist and Bleach and everything else. And, wow, and then I was hooked and now I'm here.
What was the moment when you decided you're going to make a costume or buy one?
We had the high school masquerade.
Oh?
In the last year of high school, and I was just watching Bleach and stuff, and I was like, I'm going to make Kurosaki Ichigo. Everyone else like was princesses and stuff like that, and zombies, and I was like, I'm Kurosaki Ichigo, and everyone else was like, what the hell is that?
Do you plan on making Ichigo's new Bankai when they show it in the manga?
I don't read any manga. No. I never read manga. Never. I get it. I just like, the thing is that I don't like when it's not moving. Anything is not moving. Everything is black and white and there's no sound. So it's like, I like reading books, like really, really long books, like Game of Thrones and everything else, but I never read manga. And then I always watch all the anime. I have seen 20,000 episodes of anime in my life, because I can watch them without the subtitles, so I can watch anything I want.
Who's your favorite anime character?
Kurosaki Ichigo. Okay, let's get on to the business.
Wait.
One more? Okay.
One more. Have you ever felt uncomfortable, but not by the costume itself, but by the people around you? They try to touch you without...
Yeah, sometimes, yes. Well, I'm a bit big guy, I'm a bit scary, so I don't have so much problems, but one of the conventions, like the one we disliked a bit, was last year we were in Dubai. First of all, it was 50 degrees. Well, they had air conditioning, but the people in the convention, there were not many cosplayers, there were only like really rich kids. It was a gaming convention with all the PlayStation, Xbox booths and stuff like that, and we were like the only cosplayers almost. And people came to me and Kalsara, like I had mustard on, they came hitting my chest plate like this, what are you, a clown or something? And then they were pulling Kalsara's hair and like they want to take a selfie, they just come from behind, pull the hair, take a selfie and go away without saying anything. And then some guys just came like this, take a selfie and then grab the chest. And they were like really rude, everything. It's like, they need to get like teached a lot. But yeah, that was the time we felt a bit uncomfortable. Now we get to some posing stuff I have been thinking in my life when I'm alone in the dark during night and not getting any sleep. I've seen so many good costumes, but then they have only put all the strength on making the costume and wig and everything, and then they don't remember to check the pose and facial expression. And it's really important. Even when you are in the convention and people are taking photos of you, you can just practice beforehand in front of a mirror or in front of your friend who is taking photos of you to see how you actually look like. So you learn to put your chin a bit up. You always need to put it a bit more up. Everyone's always like... and not looking straight into the camera always. You can pick up like 4-3 character-like poses and then just remember them and practice them and then use them in the convention. And then you get so much better photos. And also when you're having a photo shoot with your friend, I don't know, do you have many photo shoots here? Do you arrange something like we do, like we go to the forest for a big weekend, we have the photographer and friends helping out?
Maybe we should start doing that, now that you mention it.
Yeah, that's what we usually do, because like some point you get bored of the convention photos with always the same location, always the same light, and then you just arrange something with your friends. The good thing is that you choose that this weekend you are making the costumes, using the costumes. Then you have a photographer. Then you have something like maybe flashes and stuff. It's not that important, but if you have them, they're always better. And then you have a couple of helpers. Like when you have a photographer and he doesn't know or she doesn't know the character, he cannot correct you. Like when you have the wig in the wrong place and when you have something on your costume going a bit wrong, you have art directors, what we call them. There's photographer and cosplayer, and then art director who knows the character, how it should look like, corrects everything, and then you take the photos, and it looks so much better. And one thing I'm usually doing when I feel really fat, and is that twisting Insta Slim thingy. Is what that usually you take a photo and you're like standing like this, but you take 45 degrees the left or right with your feet, come here, like this. And the photographer is there, like that guy in the red shirt in the middle. Yeah? You go like this. And then you twist your body like this. And now this, well, I have a lot of fabric here and a bit of belly. But this part gets more slimmer, and then your shoulders get more wider, so it looks so much better on photos. And then also not looking straight in the camera, a bit on this side, on this side, which side you prefer. I think I like my left side more than the right side. And, well, when you have a costume, this is for the boys who have no shirt on during the convention day. It's like not drinking beer and stuff beforehand. I usually drop out all the carbs and just eat protein and drink a lot of water. Then you get a bit dehydrated. And on the convention morning, not eating that much, only a bit of like one Coke or something, and not drinking any coffee or such because it makes you really bloated. And one really important thing, if possible, would be nice if you iron your costume. Like this morning I was ironing my costume on the bed because I didn't have the ironing board. And your costume looks a lot better with this stuff. Also the lighting in the convention halls is usually really bad. It's the cold light and it's coming straight from up. So it makes shades in your eyes and everything here, so you look much more older. Well, I want to look older today because I'm a bit older in this part of the anime. But if you want to look like really pretty and young, then you should take the photo somewhere where the light is coming from the side and not up. And then one thing is that usually I have here, the chin is like getting a bit like fatty here. If you don't like that part, if you get irritated with it, you can practice that part. It's called swallow and smile. When you can try it like this. You put your finger in here and swallow. You feel the part when it's going up in the big middle part of the swallowing. When you practice in front of the mirror, you can train your muscles that it keeps up there. So it gets like maybe even 1-2 centimeters upper, and you get this jaw part really sharp and nice. And you can practice that every time someone is taking a photo, you're having a photo shoot, you can make this chin part look pretty fabulous. But these are just some tips, like I've been gathering. You don't have to use all of these. I don't know, I don't also remember to use all of them, but just something you can think about if you're interested. Here's one of my friends, Pasquale, as Basti Stampede. I like his wigs also. He's pretty good in posing and stuff as a male cosplayer. And here's Leon Kidol again. He always got these like really professional modeling photographers, and they have these awesome locations in Italy and everywhere. And they're making this action kind of photo shoots and stuff. And if you want to get some inspiration, you can check him out. Yeah, so maybe we have some questions again.
I have a question. You said that you were on all around the world on some conventions, some Carlos, and I wanted to ask you, have you ever met someone famous, Nathan Fillion or Norman Reedus, or I mean, have you ever met any famous celebrity like Norman Reedus or
celebrity like not cosplayer?
Yeah.
Yeah, many of them. What is the guy from the Back to the Future, the professor? Yeah, I was with him, and then I had the Teal from the Stargate. I was smoking with him in the backstage in Canada, and then the Paulos Hermanos, the black guy from Breaking Bad. I was taking selfies with him, and then yeah, many actors. Also, The Walking Dead, the blonde girl who died with the government. There's a blonde girl there. Many blonde girls dying in Walking Dead. Yeah, no, I've met kind of many of them, but yeah, they are usually kind of cool people, and they always smoke and drink a lot.
About the photos and the posing part.
Yes.
You must have like your favorite time when you're most in the mood for taking pictures. Mm-hmm. When is that? And how do you cope with those times when you're tired, but the fans still want to take pictures?
Yeah, my favorite time of taking pictures is always when I don't have the costume on. You know that mood when you wake up and you go, oh God, I look so good today, I want to make a photo shoot, and then you start putting on the makeup and everything else and arrange everything, and then you're so tired when you actually get to the location and you're like, I'm not feeling like photos, and then you take the photos really quickly and then you're disappointed. That's what usually happens. But what I do in the convention is that I drink coffee, like I have coffee here, and then I had espresso here, and I had 2 coffees before I came to the convention. But in Finland we drink a lot of coffee. We drink the most coffee in the world. We drink 7 cups average a day. So that's why I skip like...
Okay, more questions? Anyone?
Most making, and what was the cosplay you most enjoyed wearing? Some of your favorites are...
I think I liked making Yasuo from League of Legends because of the armors. Sorry, I cannot show you the picture now. I liked making the armors there. But it was horrible to wear because I had the full lace wig with the 1 meter ponytail. It felt horrible. And the most comfortable costume might be something like, well, this is kind of comfortable, but also like Kakami Daika or something, like the basketball and volleyball costumes, they're always really comfortable. I usually use them on the judging day when we have a competition, like, well, you don't have so many participants in the cosplay competition, but for example in Italy, have you ever been in a convention in Italy? They have crazy competitions. They had, last time I was there like 3 months ago, they had this competition, it was a 5,000 people convention. And then I went there and I was the judging day. I had Yasuo on. And they had the TV camera, so it was going straight to the TV. There was competition with no breaks, you couldn't even go to the toilet or anything. They had 355 people in the competition. 355 people. And all of them had a presentation. And I saw like 20 first ones of them, and I was like, I just drank 7 cups of coffee. The TV camera is zooming this way. It was horrible. It was horrible. They always have like 300 people in the competition, and they have 25 different kind of prizes you have to give. The best male, the best female, the best wig, the best prop, the best armor, the best skit, the best of the best, yeah, everything possible.
Did you win any of them?
Me, I was the judge, so I didn't win.
Do you prefer to do anime characters or game characters?
I think I do more of the anime because I'm not so much playing the games. Like I don't have PlayStation. I have PlayStation Vita now, and my girlfriend got PlayStation 3. But I mostly play games on Steam, and they're not really cosplay at all of them. Like Nowadays I've been playing Grand Theft Auto 5 and DayZ and Left 4 Dead.
Yes.
That's like the basic stuff. But yeah, mostly I watch all the anime and that's how I make my costumes.
Okay, next question, please. What about shoes? Do you alter your shoes? In front. Do you alter your shoes for cosplay, or do you just buy similar ones and use them?
It depends. Sometimes I make the shoes if they're like really something you cannot buy, or they're really expensive, all the shoes. So I have a lot of shoes and then I just cover them with something. So making the shoe covers. Sewing the actual shoes, like making the bottom of the shoe and stuff, it's not really possible with without all the tools.
Anyone else?
Karen, what's the biggest convention that you ever attended?
Japan Expo in Paris. And now we should have, they have like 250,000 people, even more.
I think last time I went there it was 252,000 people, which is the size of a bigger city in Serbia.
Horishitu.
I always get lost there because you cannot see the back wall of the convention. So you just go to the crowd and then you get lost for 5 hours, then you find your friends, say hi and go to the toilet, and then you get lost for 2 days and then you meet your friends again. And now we should have a 5-second silent moment for all the cosplayer bodies. Exactly now in Japan Expo, it's going on right now in Paris. Because it's the heat wave in there and they have like 45 degrees. Shh. Rest in peace.
Okay, next question.
In the future, what male characters costume would you like to challenge yourself with?
I was thinking of sewing some leather again. I want to make, have you seen Nanatsu no Taizai?
Yeah.
I want to make bun. Yeah, with red leather. And what else have I been thinking? Oh, I just watched the Akatsuki no Yona, and we are going to make the Hut and Yona with Elsa.
You mentioned that you own a PS Vita. Do you have a favorite game on it? Do you have a favorite game on PS Vita?
PS Vita? I like the game called Tokiden. But I bought it 2 years ago from Japan, so I can use the Japanese version. So I think it came out in the, yeah, it's an English version also now. Yeah, it's pretty good. I didn't have so many games on PS Vita. Any more questions?
We had someone here who wanted to ask.
How come people don't be sharp?
Maybe I was hallucinating. Never mind.
Yes.
Okay, anyone else? Okay.
This one.
Girl with a bow.
When you actually decide who you want to cosplay, how long do you brainstorm for new ideas to make that costume?
It depends. Sometimes I have the costumes like I want to make Jiraiya from Naruto for the past 5 years, but still I haven't done it. But sometimes when it's like Kalsara is saying me, let's do this, and then it might be like snap, and next day I buy everything and then I start making costume. So it varies a lot.
How much time do you spend on like on anime-wise on the character? Do you have to like watch the whole series and just look at the character as itself, or do you like watch the series first and then just look at the character afterwards, like his emotions and poses?
Yeah, usually I watch all the, of course I watch all the anime, and then I start making the screen caps, and then I start searching the Japanese sites for the actual artist illustrations and sketchbooks and stuff, because you get so much out of them. So I gather a big folder with all the sides, all the poses and movements, and all the parts of the costume, and then I start making it.
How do you decide on your next cosplay?
Maybe I make something, and I don't know, I cannot decide which one I will make next, because I have currently no money. So yeah, I I will think about it.
Then I found my old drives and I look like, oh my god, that's not me. And I call my little sister Maggie, and Maggie, this is yours. Do you do like that with your old cosplay?
My old cosplays? Yeah, as I said before, that I'm giving them out usually after the convention when I have decided to retire the costume. So I just give them out to some of the fans or friends I have met in the country. Okay, I think, what is the time?
You have 10 more minutes, so we have to close the poll for our next guest. Or you can use it here, or we can move in front of...
Yeah, let's take the final question and then...
Final question?
Yeah, final question. You said you were judged a couple of times, right?
100 times.
Okay, was there ever one costume, one cosplay, one act you just couldn't trade? One, you had a puzzle to... Did you have a moment to give out the best prize between two best?
Yeah, it happens a lot. Like sometimes there's two kind of competitions. There's this kind of competition where you know exactly that this is the best costume, and there's a really big gap between the second place. And then the second option is the competition where there's like 3 or 4 like super good ones, and then you can decide the winner. And of course, I'm not the only judge. So there's usually in all the conventions around the world, there's 3 to 7 judges. I prefer like 3 to 5. Yeah. Okay, you have 5, and that's the thing that you have to give out the scores, and then you see who is the winner, because you have to vote for the winner. So that's what we usually do if it gets like really close.
Thank you, and thank you for your patience.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. How do you say thank you in your language?
Hvala. Hvala. Znači, zamolila bih za još jedan jako veliki aplauz za Elfija zato što je odabrao da bude u Beogradu na Japanizmu, a ne u Parizu. Elffi će imati svoj štand ispred, znači ako hoćete još malo da se družite, da nešto pitate, tu je. Kao Sara nam se pridružuje, stiže noćas, od sutra je sa nama, u 12 sati je gore u Amerikani njena diskusija na temu problema sa fobijem sa roditeljima. U pola 5 sutra će ona ovde imati svoju priču vezanu za cosplay i pitanje interneta, znači na raspolaganju je sutra, a u pola 5 je tu na redu naša druga gošća, takođe fantastična cosplayerka, Okidoko, evo ovde. Tako da sad pravimo pauzu, zatvaramo salu i vidimo se od ponovo pola 5.